again, we're in that scenario where we're on a survival type of situation. We have zombies coming at us. We have limited materials or no materials. What can we do? We know how to use a bow. Heck, we even know how to make a bow. We just need materials. What do we need? What's the minimum we need? You can get a good stick, a good limb. It's going to work for a while. If you don't know 100% what you're doing, it's going to break. But what about PVC pipe? This is a typical piece of Schedule 40 PVC pipe. This is something you can find in someone's house as you're ransacking a house trying to find things quickly, an old hardware store, a work site. There's multiple ways to find a piece of PVC pipe. This is a 60-inch piece of PVC pipe. That's one thing. Number two, a piece of paracord. You can use other things, but this is pretty typical. You can find pieces of paracord, a really strong, tough cord, and a knife or a Leatherman or some type of tool. And that's all you need. I'll show you exactly how to make an effective survival bow for the zombie apocalypse. Okay, so we have our piece of PVC pipe. There's a couple things we need to do. First, I took a piece of this paracord and I cut it the same length as the piece of PVC pipe. This is 60 inches. Just for making it easy on yourself, we cut it the same length as the PVC pipe, and we tied a very simple knot at the end of it with a loop, and I'll show you what it's going to be used for. We're going to be making another one of those, but you'll see why in a second. So the first thing I do, I want to make a cut about 1 inch down on my piece of PVC pipe. So give yourself a score where you want to do it, and we're going to keep cutting. What we want to do, as we're cutting this away, we want to make sure that it's straight. We want to make sure that we can fit our string inside this little area. So we're going to kind of notch it out. As I keep going here with it, you can kind of see it starting to form into a notch, right? Almost like a notch that you put into a tree when you're trying to fell it. So we're going to keep going here. We're almost through it already. I'd like to go a little bit deeper than that. So a little bit deeper. And you'll see why. It's going to be used to catch the string and hold it there. And we're going to make this thing into a bow. So I'm going to keep working it till it's as deep as I want it to be. That's probably pretty good. Okay? So be careful because you're using a knife, but we're going to slip this paracord down over, and that's going to slide down in. You can see how deep. It doesn't need to go real deep. I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to go almost halfway. I'm not quite there yet. So I'm going to go a little bit further. Okay, that feels pretty good there. Nice and cleared out. Okay, and that string's going to sit right in there. It's going to hold real good. So we're going to flip this around, do the same thing on the other side. Now before I finish this off, I want to already pre-bend it. So I want to bend it down and see how it's going to want to bend for me. Because this top will twist. I want it to be about right there. So this is the edge. I want to make my next cut. And we're just going to do the same thing we just did down at the other end. And notch it out real good. And again, there's a lot of good ways to do this if you have some really good tools. But again, you're figuring you're in a situation where you just got a knife. You know, what can I do to be effective? Okay, now we have our other secondary notch, and we're simply going to bend this bow into shape, which is about right there. Okay, and that's about where we want to do our loop. So I'm going to slip it off and make my loop. Okay, so again, you can decide how you want to tie your knot. There's bowyer's knots. There's all kinds of different knots you can make, as long as it's going to be tight and effective. So we're going to bend this into place. Put our loop on. Okay, now what do we have? We have our bow. Is it perfect? No. Can it work? Let's see. Okay, so we have our piece of PVC. We have our paracord attached now. It looks like a bow. Let's see if it's effective. So you want to find center on there to make the perfect shot, but again, this is a high stress situation. Get as best as you can. Let's just see if we can be effective with a piece of PVC and a piece of paracord. There's one in the skull. So let's see how effective we were. Okay, so again, this is a piece of PVC pipe and a piece of paracord. Two little notches that we cut into that with a knife, with a Leatherman. And how effective were we? So we have one shot that sunk in almost the whole way, a second shot that sunk in almost the whole way. Now, did it blow through this watermelon like our regular good traditional longbow? No, but I think in any zombie that's effective. We've completely penetrated the skull, whole way to the feathers on both arrows, and definitely effective. Piece of PVC and a piece of paracord. Now let's see what else. What about other scenarios? What else can we do? Can we still bash it? Can we still stab it? I think you're going to find out you can do both of that.